that the Diaghilev Ballet was in New York. Otto Kahn would not finance it without Nijinsky, and so he was called back. There was a piece in the New York Times newspaper saying that Nijinsky refused to dance in form because it had been so changed. It is not the ballet as I conceived it. And until he had had a chance to rehearse it to his original idea, he did not perform it. Now, that was 1916. The ballet was created in 1912. In those 4 years, what does that say for memory? Because of the piece being so significant, and in its time it was a great breakthrough, ballet people didn't understand it, and the ballet dancers that Nijinsky originally worked with, they hated it because, as I think you know, they had to have parallel feet all the time, twisted upper body, and the movements were slim. There wasn't much body to them. They were just little gestures and things. And to identify with that was very difficult for them. And in fact, it can be very difficult for almost all dancers. It takes a while to really make the movement your own, to inhabit it, and to be able to feel it and express it. Going back to the memory-based versions, in 1931, Wojciechowski, who had danced the Faun in whatever version, came and taught the ballet to the Rambert company. And one of the young dancers, Elizabeth Scullion, was in it, and she became the source. Her memory of the work became the source for future reproductions. For instance, when the Joffrey Ballet wanted to do form, they brought in Elizabeth Scullion. And if you see the video of the Joffrey Ballet, which includes performance by Nureyev, when you compare that with what we call the authentic version, you'll see the enormous differences. So how we do?
Very well.
Oh, I wanted to tell you about, in about 1976, Romola, at that time, when Claudia was associated with her, wanted to redo the ballet at the Paris Opera. And there is a black and white film of Romola and Leonid Ignatiou and the book of photographs trying to piece it together. And there's a young girl with dark curly hair sitting by their side. That was Claudia. So she witnessed what went on, and they said, well, I think it should be this. Well, no, I think maybe that should come later. Well, so you see, it was. So the Paris Opera version, which actually I'm going to be showing you because I thought we'll look at the authentic version first, and then we'll look at the Paris Opera, which has Charles Jude at the form, and indeed in most senses, he gives a very good performance. But of course, material, you'll see. Now I think what I'd like to do, before I show you the video, is just to talk a little bit about what is so different in Nijinsky's version. To begin with, the faun is on the rock. Yes, we photographs, we know all about that. Playing his flute. At one point, he switches the flute and looks back into the wind. Holds it a moment, and then comes back. He's more playing flute, and then he gets up into the crouch, and again he looks back. Why? What would you think that's all about? We figure he must know the nymphs might come, and maybe he's wondering if they're coming today. Then he picks up the grapes and looks at them. One of the things Nijinsky did, he wrote in Russian, so we had to get it translated. Looks at the grapes. So he only looks at them, puts them down again. Whereas you'll see the other ones, you do the whole thing. And then he turns around and continues with the flute. The nymphs come in, 3. The first one has her arm here, and she's the leader. So this is the way we're going. The second nymph, holding her tunic, I always say to the dancers, what do you think that is? No? Well, she's shy, she's never done it before. The third one has her hand, the other hand. They take 4 steps, and then the third one leans back, and as a result, they will stop. Now, she's looking back, probably wondering where the meaning of this. She will be coming soon. But you might say, oh, you're making up reasons. But whatever reason the dancer makes up, it gives the movement a meaning, an aliveness, and that's important. So here we are, the 3 of them. The first 2 turn and look at her. She then turns and looks at them. They then turn their heads. Everyone drops their arms, and they continue walking. Next, in comes the joyful nymph. Now this was Nijinsky. I usually try and find a smaller, younger senior dancer to do this. She comes running in, all excited, and then she does a little scream of excitement. She then runs back. She then comes back and settles into her